Let's talk about different kinds of visual schedules. We're going to talk a little bit about first, then schedules. Before we do that, just a quick reminder about what visual schedules are. Visual schedules sequence activities for a certain period of time. Some examples would be like a daily schedule, a morning meeting schedule, a lunchroom schedule, an arrival schedule, a bathroom schedule, going home schedules, or independent work schedules. The purpose of visual schedules is to increase on-task behavior, decrease frustration and anxiety, facilitate smooth transitions, enhance acquisition of new skills, develop independence and resulting self-esteem, promote self-management, and complete self-help tasks at home or at school. Having things visually depicted for individuals with ASD has many positive outcomes. Keep in mind that one of our general assumptions when working with students with ASD is that they are visual learners. So what is a first-then schedule? A first-then schedule is a simple schedule using two scheduled pieces at a time to show first, then. Visual display of something the individual prefers that will occur after completing a task that is less preferred. This really helps students to see that something they prefer is coming up and can help motivate them through less preferred activities. Here's a few more examples. As you can see in this one is first we're going to do the alphabet matching. Then you get to watch Arnold, your preferred YouTube video. Here's another example, and this one actually has a folder. It's a mounted binder to display and store the icons, and it's just showing a sequence of what's going to happen first and what's going to happen then. Here's another example, and this one is on a folder, and that folder inside can hold different icons as well, and this one just shows a sequence in activity. So first we're going to do a table activity, and then it's lunchtime. Here's another example. This one doesn't have pictures, but it has words. So first speech therapy, then PE. So it just shows a sequence of what's to come. Here's an example of a first then that can be printed on labels so they can be filled out and stuck to folders or to a binder. These can be very useful at school, especially if you have students where you can just write down what's going to happen first and then what's going to happen then. This is just very simply written on a piece of paper, or you can use a whiteboard to erase on the fly as a visual reminder. First, we're going to do math, finish math, and then you get to have the iPad. Here's a couple of other examples of things that can be put in a first then board. First, you put the toys away, then you get bubbles. First, you wash your hands, then you eat at the table. Again, this one sequences an activity. This is something that can be used for home as well. First, you do a doctor's visit, then we're going to go to the playground. Again, this is an example of a first then schedule to be used at home. First, you clean your room, but all of these are applicable for school as well. First, we clean up, then you get to play with iPad or a preferred. This is an example of how students can then progress to adding to the first then format. So this one has first, next, then last. And this one uses a paint chips to create an expanded first then visual. So the student has to complete more tasks in order to get to the last, which ideally would be a preferred activity. Another example of a way to expand on a first then schedule. This one has a first, next, then. Or you can simply just use the first then format, but add more steps to it. So for example, first you're going to brush teeth, wash hands, comb hair, then you get the reward. Same can be used in the classroom as well. Here's an example of a circle time schedule. So it shows everything that is going to be happening first and then what's going to be sequenced out next. So first we're going to do the flag or the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we're going to sit. We're going to go through our feelings, story time, sing, and then we're going to do hand washing. So kind of sequences the idea and students know what is to come. And also as students complete tasks, icons can be removed to show that they have been completed. Here's an example of a portable first then schedule, and this one actually uses items to depict the activity. So first we're going to do counting balls, and then we're going to do magnets. Here's a different layout, which has a first then activities in a bin or a task box. So it actually has the objects inside. So within the bin is an activity that is laid out visually, in which the student has to complete first before they can have access to the then. So this one has first, and it has a pull-up. So first we're gonna do pottying, and then you get access to your favorite dinosaur book. Here's another example, like the previous one, of using objects to depict first then. And of course, the first is something that may be unpreferred, followed by something that's preferred. To learn more about visual schedules and visual supports, please visit our Canvas course under evidence-based practices, and you can look where it says visual supports, and you can find a lot of strategy guides, ideas, links to videos, webinars that will give you a lot more information about how to implement visual supports in your classroom.